And welcome back to DMV Rivals Summer 24 edition. We are here to watch once again the team that just won in our last game, Big Rat, go up against Lycoris. Lycoris and Big Rat, two teams that have had a strong start to their tournament, and we'll have to see if they can carry this forward into another win. We should be just about ready to get into Champion Select here, right in a moment. But already some picks coming through, so sure you guys are excited to see that. But yeah, pretty exciting matchup. We got obviously you guys know Hoptech and Big Rat. They just played, but it is Lycoris' first time in the stream. So we will take a quick look at their roster. I believe they have I think it's Kiryu ADC. They got Potential 5 as the support. They got Peach, Illit Minju, and Farmer Miles. So I think a few players that are relatively new to the DMV scene. Kiryu, known of course for being a challenger level 80 carry. Potential 5 has found his way into a few tournaments so far, but has yet to bring anything home just yet. Going to be looking for his first trophy in this tournament. I think other than that, some newcomers in this team. So we'll have to see how they do. Looks like going into Champ Select, we have Jarvan, Draven, and Leona already picked for Lycoris. Meanwhile, Big Rat picking up the Corki, the Karthus, and the Braum that you said you'd have liked to see the last game.
Yeah, the Braum definitely providing a good bit of defense against that Leona engage. Hopefully, does not become a check in Draven's bank account. But I'm personally very excited for Karthus. I'm a big Karthus enthusiast. Champion breezes through the jungle like anything. Then you just click one button with first strike. You make the money. You do the damage, and it's so nice, easy, breezy cover zombie.
We do see though the Challenger ADC bringing out his Draven. How do we feel about that pick? You think that one can take over this game?
It's definitely gonna be a bit spicy, right? You got the Corky that's gonna not really fight back too much, I imagine, in early levels. Especially with that Galio being mid, we know it is gonna be Corky in the bottom lane.
Yeah. Wait. You say wait Galio? Am I might be behind in the draft here actually. Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, I didn't see. We have the Galio and the Talia picked up. Okay, I think Talia definitely a pretty strong pick here into the Galio. You can also deny the dash from that Corki. And yeah, like you said, we know Corki's going to the bot lane. It's going to be an Aatrox blind pick in the top lane for Lycoris. We'll see what star he has in response.
Yeah, could just be another Gragas game that would be a bit AP heavy, but could be good at neutralizing the Aatrox matchup there. Or we could see her throw down something a bit more spicier, more skill matchup there. The Camille, they did ban away, but we are going to get some France in the top lane as Fiora is locked in.
Fiora, a champion that can easily take over this game, but at the same time, there's so much CC you have to avoid. You have to be so clean with your timing against some of these champions like the Talia, like the Leona, like the Jarvan. And if Fiora is able to make some successful parries, able to avoid this CC, could easily dominate a lot of these champions.
Yeah, and I mean, the side lane could definitely get out of control when you consider that, hey, Karthus can contribute no matter how far away he is. Galio can come smashing down at any moment, so that Fiora will have backup that you may not expect if you try to punish her for overextending.
Yeah, meanwhile, we have kind of a much more straightforward front to back team coming out from Lycoris. Obviously, Leona, Jarvan, exactly the type of champions you want engaging for your team, and Draven and Talia follow with some excellent follow up, as we've already seen in this tournament. And of course, Aatrox, a rock in the top lane, a champion we've been seeing for years, incredibly powerful. And despite maybe the Fiora being a tougher matchup, can easily do a lot of work in a game like this.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see Lycoris their first time here on stream. I mean, we had Big Rat for the last game. This comp feels a whole lot different. There's not as much just straight up engage. It's more so just the Galio. They're not really setting up any big team coordinated plays. It's going to be more about the side lanes, more about just getting through this early game.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Obviously, we saw definitely a very wombo combo team comp in the last game, and I think Hoptech opting to take a different role in this one with the Galio. Meanwhile, Lycoris clearly putting a lot of stock into their AD carry and their mid laner, putting them on these carry champs and relying on them to win this game.
Yeah, definitely a lot of potential for the Draven to just explode into this game if one gank succeeds, if one person on Big Rat overextends, all of a sudden that Draven's cashing in 600 gold, taking it to a Swiss bank account, and it can get very difficult to deal with him in the marksman role.
And we talked about how well Karthus can scale, how strong it can be with the ults, especially once you've built up a lot of that gold. But in the early game, Jarvan is exactly the kind of champion you want to punish something like a Karthus, maybe get the lanes ahead while Karthus doesn't really have much say. And when it comes to lanes that are easy to gank, I mean Talia, Leona, a lot of these champions are just so good for setting up ganks. And between that and the Jarvan, it could easily go heavily towards Lycoris' side if Big Rat isn't careful in the early game.
Yeah, should be an interesting jungle matchup to watch. We got the one guy just trying to power farm up, become a bit of a juggernaut in the late stages, avoid Jarvan as much as he can. Whereas on the side of Lycoris, they want their Jarvan active. They want him out in lanes. They want to make sure that those plays succeed because if Jarvan spends too much time in an area and doesn't get much, Karthus will just sweep away his camps in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, definitely a team that wants to win early game is Lycoris between this Draven, this Leona, with a lot of these snap engages and ways to find leads early. You definitely don't want to be going to the late game against this Karthus, against this Fiora. So we'll see how much of a lead Lycoris can build for themselves before the inevitability of some of these champions like the Karthus and the Fiora.
Yeah, it will be nice to see these two teams interact with those different styles. Anyone you're willing to put your stake behind for this one?
Well, I put my money on the winning team, by the way, of Big Rat last time. This time, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to say Lycoris. I think that this challengers Raven. I think that the easy setup of some of these champions like the Jarvan and the Leona and the follow-up from Talia is going to reign supreme against what I think is maybe a little bit more clunky of a comp on the side of Big Rat, which is I would say much less clear in what they're trying to do. So I'm gonna put the edge to Lycros on this one. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of there with you, but I'm a big fan of Karthus. I think he's just going to take over the game. It's going to be beautiful. He's going to finally see death, just like he always wanted to do as a kid. If you don't know the Karthus lore, it's hilarious. You don't have time for it. But yeah, I think Karthus can definitely take over in this one because you just stack up money so fast with First Strike. Hopefully, the Draven doesn't stack up even more with his passive. I think it'll be a good time for Big Rat
It's
overall.
gonna be interesting to see how Uta goes from this Diana pick where he was making plays, setting up his team to this carry style pick where he needs to be the damage output in fights. He needs to find ways to play for himself and get himself ahead. And if we can see him shine on multiple styles like that, who knows who's gonna stop him in this tournament?
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting because not only is he not on engage, the team itself doesn't have quite too much engage if they find themselves at a loss for trying to enter any fights. It's just gonna be Galio, and we'll see if they can get any sort of flanks off with the Fiora or stuff like that when it comes to those 5v5s. But we should be
As
underway
we
soon.
expected, yeah, as we expected, we do see the first strike coming out from this Karthus. Gonna look to build up lots of gold just by pressing one button, and we'll see how that goes for him. Meanwhile, I think pretty much standard runes across the board, so nothing too crazy, but definitely gonna have to look to see whether the players can make a difference in this game.
Yep. We are on to the Rift for Game 4 of the day. Big Rat trying to take their momentum from their last bout into this one, while the side of LYC is trying to keep themselves in the mix here in Group A.
Yeah, both teams really, really wanting to pick up a win on this one. Falling down to 2 losses this early in the tournament is not where you want to be. You don't want to enter that bracket stage in the loser's bracket. You don't want to lose before you even manage to get to the bracket stage. So picking up wins early on like this will really give you a safety net going into the second part of the round robin.
Yeah, I do want to
I
call
can't
out
see the
that.
game, by the way.
Yeah. I do want to call it that Panama and Caridian's going for pure defense on their end. So it is going to be barrier. It is going to be exhaust, making sure that they do not give anything for free over to this Draven.
Starry already positioning up aggressively here.
High
Setting
roll
up
on the
that
first vital. Yeah, we'll see the junglers just start on opposite sides, both of them on the blue buff. We'll see if there's any early game tricks from Barcode. And we'll see if Karthus is just able to power clear.
Yep. Looks like so far getting a little bit of an aggressive push is Starry here, looking to get that level 2 first. Meanwhile, Kiryu doing the same thing in the bot lane. I imagine Farmer Miles is going to have an easy time early game against Top Tech, who doesn't really have a way of engaging. Starry looking for trades. Not quite able to proc a Vital, but is doing a nice job of dancing in and out of Minju's attacks. A nice parry coming through. And yeah, continuing to rail down the damage onto this Aatrox.
Yeah, Minju gonna have to deal with the fact that his jungler is pathing away from him, so he will not have too much protection. Not like Karthus is really going to pull off a gank, but it does mean that Starry gets this isolated matchup for as long as she likes here.
Yeah, and we'll see what Barcode decides to do in the early game with this Jarvan pick. Like, bot lane is not really looking too gankable at this point. And Hoptech, kind of a hard champion to gank 2 on this. Oh, the proposed coming out.
Yep. There you can see some of the advantages that Fiora has in this matchup. The CC, pretty telegraphed from Minju, whether it's going to be the Qs, whether it's going to be the Ws, is going to give over easy riposte opportunities. A nice little slide from Minju to be able to land that sweet spot, but he's still not looking great in the trades. That W should go off, but Fiora still with the advantage.
Yeah, we see a little bit of CS leads being built up for Kiryu in the bot lane. And for Farmer Miles in the mid lane. Nothing, maybe 2. Oh, Hoptech though.
Yeah, with that Aftershock, they able to go in for a good trade. And yeah, it looks like Karthus did just get through his power clear. Jarvan the same. We'll see if anything else comes out. With the Talia low, it looks like Karthus just going to hover around, make sure Jarvan doesn't pay a visit to the mid lane. Everyone gets to reset.
Yeah, nothing too exciting so far. Both junglers completing their full clear. Equal in farm. Farmer Miles maybe getting a little bit too.
He did have backup. Did have backup. It's gonna be the flash off a Hoptech.
Kiryu though forced to relieve a little bit of his pressure here, as his support did leave. So that's gonna be nice for Pama Jr. and Caridians.
Yep.
But definitely Farmer Miles is gonna be happy not to have to worry about Hoptech's flash.
Yep, bit of Gatling gun trading. Yeah, bit of Gatling gun trading. We'll see if that Hoptech flash can get punished, right? Hoptech, he's on a fairly tanky champion, but if you're in the Cataclysm, if you're not able to really walk it off, it's going to be difficult to get out of there. As Caridians lands the Winter's Bite, as Karthus making his way down. Wall of Pain is there. They stack up the concussive blows. Caridian's getting a bit low. He's now stunned up. And Kiryu gets the cash in for first blood. Now Panma has to pop the barrier. The Skittles are not quite landing. Flash in from Draven. Panma finds the Fog of War. And the Eclipse Shield helps Potential 5 get one back. But now Sightless with no mana on this Karthus. He can't stand and fight. It's Potential 5 with the double kill.
Yeah, really good job by Kiryu and potential 5 there, able to turn that play completely around. A nice flash, at the very least, from Panma Jr. did allow him to secure the kill onto Kiryu. So at least this Draven didn't get too far ahead. But if you're bringing a gank through like that to the bot lane, you do not want to give up 3 kills, especially to a Draven lane this early into the game.
Yeah, it's not a massive cash in, but it does net an 800 gold lead for the Draven. And with no flash on Pamma, no flash on Critians, we'll see if they can snowball the Draven even further.
For sure. Meanwhile, I want to hopefully take a little bit of a look up towards this top lane now. Starry continuing to take aggressive trades onto Illet Minju.
Yeah, here comes Grand Challenge. Can't get that vital against the wall. Minju plays it right. And the minigame will not be won, but with Karthus up here in the pressure, that should be Grubs. Former Miles getting taunted up in mid. Gallo trying to lay the smackdown. And we'll get the wave through and make sure that Grubs are easily taken.
Yeah, it looks like Farmer Miles opting not to go for the tier here, so it's going to be a little bit squishier than you might normally expect a Talia to be. Pamma Jr. getting a nice trade onto Kiryu, but it is...
Talia's down here. Hoptech has TP if he wants to use it on the tower. Good evasion by Panma, but here come the 4-man dive. TP coming in from Hoptech. How do they want to make the play happen? And Requiem is going to rain down. Farmer Miles finds a kill. The Jarvan will be okay for now. Hoptech can't quite find any taunts, but they have Kiryu sectioned off. He will drop his stacks on the ground at the end of all of it. And Hoptech charging up that passive for a 2-hand slam and gets himself on the board.
Did, at the very least, get the Summoner away from Hoptech, but, I mean, ultimately, a 1-for-1, you'll take it there, especially if you can get the stack reset on the Draven. A kill going over to both mid laners. But, yeah, I mean, ultimately, no one really getting too much of an advantage.
Yeah, I do think the play was definitely well thought out for the side of... I'm losing my mind. Yeah, Lycaris. You know, you get the flag that the Karthus is away on top side on Grubs. You feel like Galio's not in a position to join with ulti. You have Miles down there. Didn't use the Weaver's Wall, but he did get there first. And so just trying to play around where they drafted the advantage, where they want this Draven to be, where they want their challenger marksman to be. As Panma is going to get caught out, but the Glaives just chunking him out to half HP.
Yeah, but, I mean, and every bit of damage counts, right? Like, the more Draven can get in this lane, the farther ahead he'll be. That's exactly how they're going to find a win in this game. Starry not quite sending their riposte in the right direction, continuing to look for this trade, but ultimately we'll just kind of push in the wave and back off.
Yeah, Fiora wielding a lot of long swords in the matchup, but with the plate steel caps, I think Minju should be relatively safe for now. Not too much true damage coming out of the Fiora just yet.
I think almost a bit of disrespect coming out here from Hoptech, going for this armor-heavy build into the Talia, knows that Farmer Miles really cannot do anything to him, and building for the rest of the team.
Yeah, wants to make sure that he's able to just be a tank here, be the front line that lets Panma and lets Sightless do the work. He talked after last game. It was an easy Yasuo game. He just clicked R and provided some DPS, but now, I mean, it's a fairly easy job he's looking to do here as well.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see what he's able to do with the ult this game. Does have it available right now, but despite the fact that he has that global cooldown,
oh no,
still finding the dragon is barcode.
Yeah, Sightless trying to find some Skittles. Not doing too much, but here comes Weaver's Wall, and Sightless, he's just going to have to turn and try to fight this one out. There is not going to be a heroic entrance. There's instead going to be a Cataclysm and going to be a kill for Peach. Is now back in the bot lane. Kiryu, Whirling Death finds its mark. The Draven is starting to get rolling, and Farmer Miles has looped around on Panma Jr. That's going to be the Unraveled Earth. Doesn't find the shove, but it should still be a kill. Farmer Miles putting him in the dirt.
Yeah, nice ult from Farmer Miles, able to block off Uta, claim that kill even through the flash.
Is Requiem gonna
come
come down?
But I don't know. Yeah, nowhere near enough damage to finish anyone off, so I guess he was just farming some gold there with the first strike. Hoptech, though, at least able to get some plates back in the mid lane. But yeah, you have to be happy if you're Kiryu. Now, getting another proc off of the passive and getting further ahead in the bot lane.
Yeah, he's got 5k to the 3k on Panma. I cannot imagine a world where that is not the first tower to fall this game.
Yeah, Starry looking to get something back here, though, on the top lane. Sees her team kind of falling behind in the rest of the map, but Minju is doing a good job of kind of just holding the Fiora at bay, not giving up any leads, and just kind of keeping it even and allowing his team to get further and further ahead.
Yeah, I do want to call out that before that play, Sightless was 2 levels up in the jungle matchup, and he went for the fight onto the Jarvan. Didn't go his way because Farmaz was there. And now, yeah, he still got the farm lead. Yeah, he still got the gold lead because he cheats with his runes. But he was in a pretty solid position, all things considered. And now his Jarvan is getting his team where they need to be.
Yeah, and Kiryu will not give up the pressure, continuing to keep his opponents under the turret.
Oh my god.
Getting the damage. Not quite able to finish off the kill, but that will just allow more space onto the turret.
Yeah, and we don't see anyone cheating down just yet. No Weaver's Wall. We're quite in range, but Karthus trying to move down and help his bot lane. They are still going to lose some plates. Kiryu eating well.
Yeah, and all 4 stuns still available, so even while they're getting aggressive, it's going to be really hard to find a kill. Hoptech looking for something on Farmer Miles.
Yeah, he gets half his HP. The Gargoyle got some fists, but at the end of the day, it's not going to amount to too much, really. All Farmer Miles needs to do is make sure that Galio can't get down there, can't affect this matchup, because this Draven continuing to be a problem, as Peach not going to go for any sort of engage. Karthus and Galio, though, have moved down. It might be set up for a brawl, as Hoptech trying to make his way forward. A lot of damage from Kiryu, not quite killing off the Braum, just barely. And Hoptech not taking the aggressive angle, just thrown out of Winds of War. And nothing really doing.
Yeah, I mean, not too much happening at this point of the game. I'm sure as some of these objectives start to spawn, the dragon, it should be coming up relatively soon. But
World Ender in top lane. Astari has to throw back the Grand Challenge, dodging away from 1Q, dodging away from the second, but Minju is not going to go down to the Requiem. Sightless expecting a bit more out of his top laner. They burn the Galio ult up there as well.
Yeah, I guess it does allow him to kind of get this wave.
Taunt is there for Hoptech. Minju, no flash, but he's able to get a stab, able to get a heal. And not much Galio is going to do to him.
Yeah, Farmer Miles just getting a free opportunity to grab some plates in the mid lane. An entire cannon wave will go down. It looks like Uta might have to grab a little bit of this, but yeah, Hoptech kind of wasting the ult there, and Starry it seemed like was already out, so
yeah, bit of a bungle there.
A little bit further. Yeah.
Bit of a bungle, burning those global ultis. We do have Dragon up in a bit here, but again, this Draven is in a very good spot. He is up 3k gold still on the Corki. We are seeing a more lethality build from Panma Jr. One of the things that makes the Corki such a strong pick is his ability to go between that on-hit crit build and the more poke-focused build that he's running here. But when Draven's got Bloodthirster, I don't know how much the big one really matters if he can just auto once and heal it all back up.
Yeah, Draven's already almost at that 2-item power spike, and if he can get there, it's hard to imagine that the Rats are going to be able to really find anything in this game. I mean, someone needs to shut down Kiryu, and he's not even worth a bounty.
How is he not worth a bounty? Wait a minute. He just... What the...
Draven just cheats. I mean, he gets the extra gold from the kills, but that doesn't cause him to be
I guess.
Gold.
But now Starry getting aggressive in top lane. Lays down the Grand Challenge. Miles trying to flash away, but he is sliced up by Starry.
Yeah, huge play from Starry. You know, if there's anyone who can get ahead and start to cause problems for Licorice, it is definitely Starry on this Fiora, and getting a kill there kind of for free on the Talia is really, really what you want to see.
Oh,
Kiryu
has to flash. Hoptech's arrived. The Draven is dead. They pile through in the 4v2, and that's 2 quick kills to the side of Big Rat.
You can get the leads in lane, you can get ahead, you can get the tower, But if you just get caught out in the fight, it's not going to matter. It's still a squishy Draven. Hoptech with a nice flank, able to find the kill. And that will be
now Minju gonna be the focus here. Starry's able to get away, trying to re-enter, and Yuta's able to pop him with the Q. Now everyone teleporting up here. Farmer Miles not gonna do much.
Yeah, might be able to use the pressure from that TP to look towards the Herald, but well, I guess they should get the Herald, but I don't know about much else.
Yeah, we
Still,
do.
a much needed comeback play from the Rats. We're down almost 5,000 gold. Now it's only a lead.
Oh my god,
about
Miles!
1,000.
Oh, another Skittle kills him! A solo for Sightless. Glory to Karthus as Panma. He gets 3 autoed. He has barrier. He's able to Valk out over the wall, dodging the whirling death in the last tower shot. Panma able to get the outplay.
Oh my gosh. Kiryu thought he had the free kill, went in, went for the whirling death, but Panma Jr. kiting around beautifully, just enough time, and able to Valkyrie out at the end. And Kiryu just goes down to the tower. Kiryu, he just a few minutes ago, it seemed like no one could stop him. It seemed like he was hopelessly ahead in the game, but now he has the most deaths in the game and is starting to fall behind.
Yeah, not great here for Kiryu. We haven't quite seen those straight up 5v5 brawls. It's just been a bunch of picks and mishaps across the map for the Lycoris bottom lane.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're Panma Jr. at this point, you're still a little bit behind, but you're definitely feeling good. After that outplay, like that's the kind of statement play. When you do that against a challenger player, you're feeling good.
Yeah, absolutely. You've been living under your tower all game. This guy has been just in your face throwing axes, and you're able to get that dopamine of just like, I got him one time. I got him.
The items are starting to come through for Hoptech, for Uta. They're only going to become more powerful from here. We were just talking about how Draven was almost at that 2-item power spike, but having just repeatedly gone down, he hasn't even made it there yet.
Yeah. Meanwhile, it has been a good game again for the mid jungle of Big Rat, Hoptech, and a bit of a weird ult in topside, but he's been involved in some pretty good plays thus far. Sightless himself accelerating that jungle lead already on 2 items, and we'll see if they want to move in for this Herald fight.
Lycoris, at the very least, do seem to be getting that objective lead. Already 2 dragons to their name. Will pick up the Herald as well. So well, maybe if they're able to find another dragon, all of a sudden they're on soul point, and the game becomes really dangerous for the Rats. But as long as Starry's kind of just pushing here in the bot lane, no one's really answering her. Does have 6 grubs to her name. It's really not looking good.
Oh, Kiryu takes a lot of damage. Knocked up by the Glacial Fissure. The last Skittle does not taste great for him. And now the dash in from Hoptech. No Justice Punch, but now Requiem is going to tick them down. Starry gets outplayed on the bottom side. Good plays by Miles. As now Minju, just roaming through with the World Ender, has to immediately flash out.
Yeah, I mean, that play by Miles, though, absolutely crucial on the bot side. Had Fiora won there as well, it would have been a disaster for Lycoris. At least now they're able to regroup. They have the same number of members, or I guess they're only down 1 member. They're low health bars, and the respawns are coming through. They'll be able to make their way towards this dragon and try to go for that soul point. But the gold is starting to build up. That's 2 items for the Karthus. 10 stacks on the Darth Steel for both Uta and, I guess, 8 for Hoptech.
Yeah, those books are going to be coming in soon, and they're not going to be second grade level books. They're going to be pretty solid novels if they're able to get those completed with those stacks.
Oh, absolutely. Although the one saving grace, I will say, is Kiryu did manage to reach that 2-item power spike, and you're definitely going to be looking to him to see if he can carry this next fight. But if he continues to get caught out in the way he has been, it's not going to be good for Lycoris.
Yeah, he has no flash for like another 5 seconds. So he will have that opportunity in this next fight. Dragon already started up as Kiryu trying to get away and back. Korean's trying to move forward. The poke from Corki not connecting. Dragon down below half. Fiora and Talia in the top side. Here comes the engage from Barco. They can't quite get Sightless been down. Instead, it's Minju dropping first, a dominating Karthus. They're trying to turn off the objective. Kiryu has to run away, but it's Karthus delivering the double kill. Now Grand Challenge out to Kiryu. He's not going to go down just yet. He's trying to go through the damage, trying to roll through his axes, but it's Sightless rolling through Lycoris. We finally get a go for Kiryu. He's able to flash back in, but he can't pick up another head. He will go down into the river, and a quadra kill for Karthus.
Sightless is just taking over the game. He has so much damage at this point. 2 items and the 10-stack Dark Steel, as we said. The TPs were both available for the top laners. Despite Starry being quite low on HP upon arrival, the team had already pretty much won the fight. Hanma Jr. and Cridian's also playing extremely well. The passive just continuing to stack up on the members of Lycoris, and that will just be the Baron going over to Rat, and that will be probably something along the lines of a 6k gold lead.
Yeah, things were pretty rough around the bot side early, but now Big Rat getting back into it, taking that big fight, denying Soul. It felt like that Lycoris thought they could burn down the objective a lot faster than they were actually able. They weren't able to find their way into the fight. First, Minju's a bit overextended, not doing anything. Then Peach/Barcode is a bit overextended, not doing anything. And they just can't really get this Draven in a position to fire.
Yeah, and Karthus with this like 60 gold or CS lead on the opposing jungler, like we said, if Karthus has the opportunity to farm up, get these kills off the ult, win these fights, it's just there's just nothing you can do. The Jarvan's completely useless. Hoptech a bit far forward there, but does have the flash available.
Cataclysm's gonna come down. Panma burning the flash as well. Kiryu though losing a ton of HP. Tick, tick, boom! And the Karthus is legendary with that Requiem. Cridian soaking up some damage here. Can't quite find the Winter's Bite. And meanwhile on the top side, Starry just taking the straight up 1v1 to Minju. Taking up the tower casually. Staying on guard and getting the solo kill.
Yeah, the Rats just winning every single fight. It's potential 5.
I don't know what Cridian's was looking for.
Cridian's with a bit of a questionable play there, but yeah. I mean the Rats are just completely taking over. Starry just taking this inhibitor, and I imagine that'll be another one going down as well. Yeah, it will be, and it's kind of a disaster for Lycoris at this point of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this Draven, this Challenger ADC having to be the focus, and everything went well. But now we're getting to that point again where it's like, okay, you're playing with the Leona that wants to kind of leave the Draven alone. You're playing with a Jarvan that wants to go and engage, leave the Draven alone. You're playing with an Aatrox trying to dive in. It's really just a Talia trying to provide any sort of peel with that Unraveled Earth. So, I mean, it just hasn't been safe for Kiryu in these fights.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that long ago that we were talking about Kiryu having like a 3k gold lead. Oh,
they dropped the Cataclysm onto Starry, but she does so much damage back onto J4. He's got to flash out. Now the stun hits Kiryu. He's trying to get out, but he's trapped in the Defile. He's trapped with 3 members of Big Rat. Potential 5 won't fare much better. Farmer Miles, you may have been able to 1v1 Starry earlier on, but I don't know how much damage you're doing to that Galio Gargoyle armor. Wins the war, a punch through the skull, and it looks like Big Rat are moving for the win.
Yeah, and it's starting to feel like Hoptech is closer to Showmaker than any other mid laner is to him in the tournament. He's just dominating every matchup.
Yeah, and now Starry just trying to go forward. Get another one on the board. Aatrox is caught. Aatrox is going to fall. The Rats will reign supreme as that Requiem will just pad some, not even any DPM. And that is Big Rat with 2 wins in a row.
Yeah, Big Rat, after starting off with a bad game 1, is coming back huge, winning 2 decisive victories against some of the better teams in their group, and really showing that they could be in the top of their group by the end of this group stage.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it shows a lot for them that they've had these 2 games where the early game was, in that first case, very back and forth. There wasn't really any deciding fact of those first 14 minutes. Now in this game, it feels like early game's going poorly. It feels like everything's going to shit. But they are just so resilient at staying in it, looking for those mid-game plays. All of a sudden, Galio comes in on the flank, Fiora comes in on the flank, and they're able to turn them around when all of them work as a team true to the Rat name.
And the Rats are proving that they're incredibly versatile in their playstyle. Starry going from this neutralizer in the Gragas to a carry top laner, able to split push towards the win. Uta on this Karthus after playing the main engage on the Diana, and Hoptech going from being the Yasuo, being the carry, to being a facilitator on this Galio. It feels like each of these members is just incredibly versatile, and it's going to be hard to figure out what to do against them moving forward in the tournament.
Yeah, awesome stuff there from Big Rat. I don't know if we need to pull them in. We already heard from them. They said some very hurtful things. So I don't know if we need to really. I don't know if we need to really pull them in.
Well, we do have at least one more round for you guys today. So yeah, thanks for joining us. A great game, 2 straight wins for the Rats. We'll be getting to look probably at the other side of the group stage, and we'll see how things go moving forward. See you guys in a bit.